We're keeping our focus on the debate about restructuring the country and some of those issues also raised there. But let's go over now to Abuja, where we've got our first guest. Makarfi.
Well, thank you, Chamberlain. I have with me Ahmed Makarfi, who is the factional chairman and also chairman of the PDP Caretaker Committee. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you.
Very quickly, what has been your thought, or the thought of your party, excuse me, of your faction, in terms of what has been going on in the country in the last couple of days, in terms of the agitations and threats of secession?
Well, it is really unfortunate that those calls were coming from the quarters they are coming. But again, we must also commend the recent reaction, by leaders from the southeast, because that's what was expected of them long before now. Maybe we would not have gotten, to the level that, we got. But better late than never. The leadership in the southeast, not just political leadership, from different spheres of life, have risen up to the occasion to tell these young Nigerians that even if there are legitimate grievances, there should be more civil and lawful ways of pursuing those grievances. There is no part of this country that you find without one grievance or the other.
What are the thoughts then? Because there's been lots of talk around restructuring. What are the thoughts of your party along those lines?
I addressed a press conference a couple of weeks back. There is nothing wrong in restructuring. But understanding that, restructuring means different things to different people. You don't sit on a table. You need to, first of all, establish, a common basis, understanding what is it we are going to restructure, and how do you proceed in doing that. Maybe the certain agitations to do with certain forms of restructuring, by the time Nigerians are able to sit down together, they may find out that no, maybe that is not what is required now. Maybe these particular things, set of things are the kind of restructuring that are required. But leaders should not assume that they know it all and decide for people what kind of restructuring the people require. It's important, we listen to the people, we sit down with them, and so that we establish a common basis of the kind of restructuring that Nigeria requires at this time, and the time frame for the implementation of, whatever we may agree to, and Nigeria will be better off, rather than saying no, yes, no, yes will not take us anywhere.
I hear you when you say that the people must be listened to, but then people within your party, within your faction of the party, must have their own ideas in terms of what restructuring might entail when they also talk about it. So what are the thoughts of...
Even within our party, restructuring means different things to different people. And it is not just within our party. There are people who are not within our party. Nigeria belongs to all of us. And since Nigeria belongs to all of us, APC, PDP, and other parties alike, and those who may not be aligned to political parties, and we're talking maybe about the same, but different approach, maybe different things. It's only when we sit down together that we are going to understand what really are we talking about. But to write off the idea completely ab initio, I think it is wrong. And we must, in principle, agree to that, and agree that we need to sit down and discuss what nature of restructuring does Nigeria require.
Well, the sense I get is that you're saying that there's no consensus yet, even within from members of your party. So are you saying then that the PDP, at least the faction that you lead, doesn't have a clear understanding, or if assuming it was going to be, pushing for restructuring, it doesn't have a very clear idea of what that will mean, or a consensus around what that means?
The name of our party is People Democratic Party, and democracy means you have to listen to the people. It is not something you find in a manifesto. It's an old manifesto. It's an evolving situation, and when you are faced with an evolving situation, what you need to do is to sit down, talk to people, listen to people, understand exactly where they're coming from. And people should understand themselves.
When you say talk to the people, are you talking to people within your party or outside your party?
Not just within our party. As a party, what we're saying that if we get the opportunity, we have to, get Nigerians to agree on the nature, time frame of the restructuring that Nigeria requires at this time. And if we come to that conclusion, then we set a time frame for its implementation.
But hasn't that been done already by your party? I mean, you might take credit for the 2014 confab report. There were also attempts during President Obasanjo's tenure to hold a confab, which was not very successful. But at least the 2014 confab report was talking to Nigerians.
If the consensus is that that is good enough, then we set agenda for its implementation.
You didn't think it was?
No, it's for Nigerians. If that is good enough, then instead of calling for restructuring, rather the people, Nigerians, those that are calling for restructuring should have been calling for implementation of that report. That would have been specific. They are aware that that report exists. If that is what exactly, those who are calling for restructuring are looking for, they should be more specific. And I commend the Senate, for requesting the executive to present that report for its consideration. And it provides a beginning point. It may not be all-inclusive of, what people require, to be talked about in Nigeria. But legislative process creates a forum that, there are public hearings, things that may not be, in the report, can come up, can be discussed by Nigerians, and the legislature will take it into consideration, and consider holistically the report. It's not that the legislature, when it receives a report, input again from the public is foreclosed. It's not.
Are you being non-committal?
I'm not. I'm committed to giving Nigerians the chance to discuss the nature of the restructuring that they require.
Because if your party, at least while you were in power at the center, created a platform for Nigerians to talk about, the nature of the unity of the country, because I recall then President Goodluck Jonathan said everything was discussable apart from the breakup. The unity of the country was not compromisable.